Hey everybody, Mac the Master, back with Marvel Heroes, and this time we got Star-Lord on the chopping block. He's been released. I think he's released a day early, but hopefully that's okay. He was looking alright on the test server. Um, Pretty much a ranged DPS is what he's looking like, and got a few tricks up his sleeves to help him survive, which will be good, because he'll need them, especially if you're going to solo. Is going to be really useful in group situations and probably a little bit more trickier in the solo situations. Um, so going right into him, this is his standard costume that he comes with. That's the Star-Lord. We'll get a little back shot. And I also have his Guardians of the Galaxy costume. Get him into the light a little more. Which looks pretty damn cool. I'll probably keep this one on. And looking at his stats, it starts off as normal, 3s all around with 4 in energy. He's all energy based. Unfortunately, they don't tell you anymore how high they go up, and he doesn't really go that high up in durability. At least he wasn't on test. They could have improved it. I'm going to start right to left as usual. And right to left, we got his elemental gun. And this is going to be kind of a quirky little perky little thing here. And what I mean by that is um, I wasn't really running with it, and a few people weren't running with it. But it does have some perks to it if you work with the quirks, and that's what I'm talking about. So, for instance, if you look at it, I'm not sure how small or big it is on your screen, but there's 4 different types of elements. You got air, earth, fire, and water. And you have 4 different types of ammo, coincidentally, air, earth, fire, and water. You only have to spend 1 point in an ammo to be able to gain access to that ammunition. And you could put 20 points into elemental shot and have fully decked out elemental shot. And what that's going to do, if you went with air, it gives you bounces, so you can hit 5 targets. If you went with earth, it's going to give you a shotgun effect, and it's going to fire projectiles. Each projectile hits an area. It's going to give you fire, which every hit regenerates health, and it's going to give you water, which every hit regenerates spirit. So that's the little quirky part about it. And then if you go over to the ammunition, each ammunition does a big hit with a big cooldown, 8 seconds. Each one's 8 seconds. All these are 8 seconds. And you have to activate the ammunition. You have to actually use it once to get each elemental shot to work. And then it has a big effect, and this actually bounces 8 times, so it hits 9 targets. And you can do that once every 8 seconds. Or you can have a big AoE once every 8 seconds. Or you have a big flaming pulse once every 8 seconds. That kind of deal. Then you have Elemental Barrage. And this is basically hold down the hotkey to lay down withering elemental gunfire with enhanced effects which vary when infused with air, earth, fire, or water. Again, you activate it once and you can run through the whole terminal using these things. So you only have to put 1 point. You actually have 1 point in each of these, and you can alter between them as you wish. So air increases the barrage attack speed by 50%. Earth increases the damage of the area, damage rating. Fire, energy damage, twice per second for 3 seconds, and water does extra damage against slow targets. I'm not sure how good that is if you don't have anything that's slowing anything. There's something later that slows down stuff. Then Elemental Blast. This is basically one of those charge up. You hold it down for a couple seconds, and then boom, it does extra damage. And again, each air or each elemental type does different benefits. So, you know, air does energy, earth does energy in an area, fire uh, does 30% extra damage for each stack of ignition on them. That's from Barrage. And then water uh, adds a slow effect, minus 40% attack and movement speed. So there's one way of getting a slow for Elemental Barrage. And then Ignition Barrage there puts a dot on for this one. So there's some work between those two. That's what I meant by it's kind of quirky. And then if you work with the quirks, you get a little bit of a perk. A lot of people aren't dealing with it. It's a little bit too much of a mess. Going over to Starship Commander. Unfortunately, they've kept the 8-second cooldown on these skills, which is too bad. But they do hit like a truck, so that's the only big benefit of having something that takes 8 seconds. Now, another bonus to this one, if you look, the area duration is actually 10 seconds. So this is an interesting skill. Incendiary Cluster Bomb. Command the Milano to fire a cluster bomb of incendiary warheads to a target location, engulfing them, everything within a burning firestorm. So it does energy damage, then energy damage twice per second. It lasts 10 seconds with an 8-second cooldown. That's pretty cool. Strafe, direct the Milano to secure an area with a deadly strafing run. This does not last, obviously, 10 seconds, but it does have an 8-second cooldown, and it hits really, really hard. Backpedal is your basic, I want to get away from here and stun something. So this will shoot you backwards and shoot a stunning bolt out. Jet Flight is a basic fly power, except these are going to be jet boots. And it's kind of funny because you fly a little bit unstably. Starship Uplink. This is going to be a passive. You can actually use it and reset all the cooldown powers of the Starship abilities. Incendiary, Strafe. And then, I think actually Orbital Strike. Also, you see enemies on the mini-map. Starship powers make enemies vulnerable, causing them to take 10% more damage for 8 seconds. Increases your crit rating, increases your energy damage rating. And when you crit or brutal strike, everybody gains accuracy, which gives you more crit and crit damage. So it's actually a pretty cool passive, especially if you love crit and crit builds. So you're going to love this. And then Orbital Strike is your signature move. This hits like a truck. Kind of a long cooldown for just a upfront skill, but it does have a 2-second stun, and that stun does go up. That's pretty nice also. At least it did on Test Center. I don't know about now. Snapshot is a basic attack. I didn't actually use it too much, but it has critical rating that goes up with it. Jet Dash is your basic get me out of here. And it refreshes the cooldown of all grenade powers. Oh, that's interesting. Are these grenades? No. But these are cryo grenades. You don't actually have to use that to reset them. 3 seconds I found wasn't terrible. Especially if you use both grenades. You can definitely work with 3 seconds. But cryo grenades, kind of good. It throws a grenade out, does energy damage. Freezes everything in place, and it weakens everything. They take 10% less damage, enemies deal 10% less damage for 3 seconds, and then they move 30% slower for 3 seconds. Close quarters combat, I found this to be absolutely horrible. It's got an 8-second cooldown. You can use it up to 5 times within 8 seconds, and it's an execute skill. If you use it for 2 seconds, you negate 15% damage. So they're trying to make it a melee skill within one melee skill that you can't always use. And that goes into Spartoid Grit. So this used to... Oh, they got rid of the extra effect off of it. Okay. This used to make you try to use this all the time, but now they got rid of that. So passive effect... Damage negated 10%, defense rating 9. Oh, nice. That damage rate negated 10%. That's new from Test Center. Defense rating and dodge rating. That's pretty awesome. And then it's also got your PvP signature ability there. Crowd control immunity for 1.5 seconds, 15-second cooldown of active ability. And then you got empty the clips, hose down an enemy with a concentrated hail of bullets from your submachine guns, packs an extra punch against bigger baddies. So this does basic damage and then bonus damage against bosses. Also, a thing to remember with this skill is it's like all the other skills that are like this skill. The rate of fire goes up as you put points into it. Gravity grenade. This is actually really good because it pulls everything together as it goes off, and then it does an immobilization for 2 seconds. I think that goes up a little bit. So I really like that. I usually threw that and then froze everything about a second later. And then suppression fire. This is your basic cone attack, AoE attack that does damage twice per second with it to everything in that cone. And that's all his skills. Then he's got secret weapon. I actually never used this one. Burst out a supposedly expended cosmic cube, which explodes and instantly vaporizes nearby enemies. So it does damage, gives you unlimited spirit, unlimited ammo for elemental gun powers, duration of 20 seconds. It instantly destroys minor enemies, does damage directly to bosses. Oh, it gives you damage rating. And boss effect stun for 3 seconds on a 10-minute cooldown. That sounds pretty good. So that's all his powers. Now I got a pretty decent build in mind. We'll have to see how well it carried over. I think it carried over better with that 10% damage negated, because he was taking some damage. So I'll have to let you know what happens, and have to level him up. I'll let you know in about 4 to 5 hours. Well, maybe 6 hours. I got a few videos to go. I got all the other team-ups, Drax, Gamora, and Groot, so I got to do their videos, and then I got to level them up. So, hope it helps. Hope you guys enjoyed, and talk to everybody real soon with the team-ups. And oh yeah, let's take a last look at that costume. Oh yeah, it looks pretty good.